What's that, Skip? Shauno's talking about Supercoach again. Let's go. G'day everyone, it's Shauno again and welcome back to the channel. We're back with some more Supercoach content. Thanks everyone for coming along. Before we get started, give me that thumbs up, give me that subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Even if the comment is just a happy face to say, hey Sean, thanks for doing a video, I'll really appreciate it. So we're going to get straight into it this week. We've got a lot to go through. We're going to go through my team, we'll go through my potential trades, we'll go through captain and vice captain choices, and we'll also have a quick look at the new dual position players. So without further ado, let's get on with it. 2,167 score, a little bit disappointing. Was predicted to get about 2,300. Then that GWS St Kilda game kind of killed me a little bit. So anyway, wasn't too bad, wasn't great. We would preferably prefer over 2,200. We dropped 800 places, which could have been worse. Still in the top 5% with a total score of 10,172. Round rank, a lot better than last week, up 44,000 places on last week. But season rank, that's what we really care about, which is down 800. So, not too bad. We lost our most important league match to a good friend of ours. He had a few Port Adelaide players that we traded out that we probably shouldn't have, and he also had Max Gawn as his captain. And so it would look like we were going to be very even until those last couple of games, and then he ended up destroying me and getting a very nice score himself. So with the team this week, we did make a last-minute trade where we got in Whitfield, which we shouldn't have done, but we did. And guess who we traded out? Well, we traded out Rosie. And as what usual happens when we trade out, when Shauno trades somebody out, he gets 150, just like Horn Francis did. So from now on, I'm going to let you guys know who I'm going to trade out, and you can just slap the captain on that player, and everything's going to be rosy for you. Get it? Rosie? Anyway, we'll move on. So Sinclair and, of course, Whitfield didn't do what he was supposed to do and get a good score. And he also cost me an extra 100 grand. This was a big mistake, actually. I'd have an extra 100 grand in the bank. I would have got an extra, 60 points. And I'd still have Rosie, who looks like with his new back roll, his new roll down back, if he keeps that roll, he could be a very, very good player to have. Whether he does or not keep that roll is something to be seen. And whether the other teams, I don't know what it was, but every other team seemed to realise if you tag Rosie, you win the match. Hawthorn, nope, didn't get the message. They had Finn McGuinness, who just played up forward and did sweet FA. Surely he could have tagged at least, a Horn Francis or a Rosie for me. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll move on for the moment, but that was it was a mistake. It was another mistake, and we're going to have to live with it. And it might punish me further on down the track because, one, we don't want to have to get him back. That would be a tragedy. And two, we don't have that extra 100k now, which potentially we could have used to upgrade to a primo this week. But without that 100k, we're going to have to just live with it for maybe do a few trade downs before we can get to the primos that we want. So Sinclair 108 just got there, wasn't looking great a lot through the match, but scraped there in the end. Whitfield a bit down, but I'm still sure he's going to be in the top few of the season. Zorko going to be good. Hopefully hopefully he'll be good. Actually, I've made some changes, so we're going to undo. You wouldn't believe it, but we just did this whole video and we forgot to turn the microphone on. So that's how good a content creator I am. So we're doing it again, and we'll go back to the team how it was. We had Trainer on field. We couldn't get Reed's score, unfortunately. It was a bit disappointing, and he was not the captain. he was not the captain. The captain was Patton, so we could get our vice captain score of Bailey Smith. So yes, so that wasn't too bad. 126, not a bad score. So we took that as we should, which was a good thing because we probably would have put the captaincy on Whitfield and lost out if we had gone for it. We considered it after seeing Gawn go 145, but we thought 126 was enough, and we were predicted to be very close in my league match. So I decided to leave it, and thankfully we did. Sheasel got 100, very nice. Dale, bit down. Hopefully he can come back. This is hopefully the lowest score he gets this season. He did have someone, they said, put time into him. They didn't really say it was a hard tag, but they put time into him. So hopefully that doesn't happen too often. Roberts, a little bit of a worry, but hopefully he can come back. The two rookies are awesome. Like I said, I wasn't able to get this 100 on the field. That hurt me as well. A little bit disappointed about that, but these things happen. Sinclair, Brayshaw, beautiful 155. As we said, Sinclair was in the midfield. I had to put him here to get Whitfield in the back line. I'm thinking that the back line players seem to be the consistent ones this week, but that's where we got rid of Rosie and got punished for it. Brayshaw did very, very well. I thought he was a good pick pre-season, and he's delivered. Oliver, Melbourne are pretty bad so far this season. His scores are reflecting it, as most Melbourne players' scores are reflecting it. Hopefully he can push his score further up to that average of 97. That would be nice. We would like that. Finn Callahan, 82. We would like more. We bought him because we thought he'd give us an average of 100. He's not doing that at the moment. Is he on the chopping block? Yes. Should have I probably got rid of him instead of Rosie? And I think I would have had enough money to still get Whitfield, probably. I guess at the moment that's a definite yes. That would have been much better. But, I think at the moment we're going to have to just hope that I think it's possible that he can have some good games. I just don't think they're going to be very regular. So hopefully he has a good game or two in the next few weeks and allow me to upgrade to somebody else. Marek is doing Marek things. Awesome. That's what we got him for. Average of 80, 84. Very happy. Very good. Murphy Reid, well, he's a pocket kind of forward player, so 58, I'll take it, especially with the 100 the week before. He's made really good cash gen. He's got forward status now, which makes my team a lot more flexible, so happy with that. Ashcroft, well done, 90, love it, plus got forward status, really like it. Lindsay, 48, probably could have done with a little bit more. Thought he might also get back. I thought he might get a little forward back DPP positioning this week, but he did not. He only plays 60-something% time on ground, so I'm hoping that's just coming back for injury. They're easing him into it. I think he can still get some decent scores. I think he still can go up in cash. I still think he's one of the more reliable ones that if you have to have him on the field, hopefully this is about the lowest score he gets, and he gets some more time on ground, and he can score us some higher scores. As for the Rooks, 38 for Kako. He's just very, very slow burn. Nivet got me a 50 coming back. It's not bad. I believe he is still got potential as well. I think he can still go up and make money. I think he can still bang out a couple of good scores on a good day. I don't think it's worth trading Lindsay or Nevitt at the moment. I think they got more money to make, and I think if you need to put them on field, you can. There's no guarantee they're going to get you a good score, but they might, which is better than other people we can talk about, like Henderson. Got himself some forward DPP status, which is nice, but he also got a 13, and he was subbed out. We saw from his first couple of weeks that he kind of needs to kick at least one goal to get a 50 or a 60. Melbourne are pretty bad, so kicking goals in the Melbourne forward line seems a bit rough. I think he has to go this week. His break even is 55, and so he's predicted to lose money. We got him for 99k, so we'd still make 66,000, which isn't too bad. But it would have been nice if he could have smacked out another couple of 60s or whatever. Would have really helped us with our cash gen. Max Gorn, good on you, buddy. At last, really big score. Hopefully you can keep it up. Tom DeConing, 118. That's very reasonable. We'll take it. Not too bad. Rankin 91. Would like him to do better, but that's still good. Over 90 in the forward line. I'm liking it. McRae, a little bit down. He was tagged, so, take that into account. I think he's still going to be very good. Bailey Smith, had him as my vice captain, like we said, took the score. Caleb Daniel, 116, nice. Davison, 61, not too bad, but he also picked up mid DPP, so that's very nice. Makes a lot of flexibility to the team. Hewitt wasn't on the field. We used... we got Warner's score. We had the 65 here, which was nice. And Bice is in our flex. As you can see, we have a lot of defenders. That's why Bice is down here in our flex. So we have got so many, we still couldn't get Reed's for score on the field. With how good Reed and Trainer are doing, I'm tempted to try and get Cheezel into the midfield too and put them both on the ground. But we saw at the beginning of the season, there's a 40 or a 50 in their future somewhere. When it will be, I'm not too sure. But the 40 or 50 for these boys is coming. Hopefully it won't be for a few weeks, and that cash gen is really going to spike up. They're both going to be at 3. All they have to do is get, 50s or 60s now, and they'll be at 300k in no time, which is what we need from them. So that was the team this week. Not too bad, not too good. Just wouldn't say it's just right either. Hopefully next week we could push a little bit higher with our score, have some of our, primos go really big, as we saw with the team of the week. If you guys didn't really have a look at team of the week, he just happened to have the right players that went really big. And I think that's that's kind of the luck with the Supercoach. You might know, we had Gorner went really big this week, but, and Brayshaw, but not the others. If we have a week where Gorn and Sinclair and Brayshaw and Whitfield and Zorko and Sheasel all go really big, and maybe a Dale or a Smith as well, we could have a massive score. Just whether the luck is, whether everything's going to happen on the same week or whether it's going to be week in, week out. The actual team of the number one team this week, when I look at it, is not much different from my team, except he was smart enough to keep Rosie and Horn Francis. But besides that, our teams look quite similar. As for captain and vice captain choices this week, I think for me, Brisbane play at home under Gabba on Thursday, so I think Zorko is a very reasonable pick. And then I think Fremantle play on Saturday, and Brayshaw seems to be on fire at the moment. Fremantle, they play Melbourne. Melbourne aren't great, so I wouldn't be surprised if Fremantle's midfield dominated them. I think that's a reasonable. I wouldn't be if Carlton also play on Friday, so Tom DeConing against North, against Cherry. I don't know if that's a great matchup for him, but I wouldn't complain if you made him the vice and had a look. I certainly wouldn't make him the captain, but if you had a vice captain option, if you wanted to vice captain him and then captain someone else down later on, you probably could. In my team, I'm thinking that the only players that I can really trust for a vice captain or a captain are the two rucks, Sinclair and Brayshaw, and Whitfield and Zorko. They're the only ones I can really trust. And so with the way the games are this week, Whitfield plays on Saturday after this week's score. But both Zorko and Whitfield scare me a little bit just from this week's score. Maybe that's a run or a trend or, something, but I'm pretty sure that they'll bounce back. So, but I think for me, this is the safest. You never know what's going to go on, what's going to happen, but this is the safest. What about you guys? Who are you thinking about as your captains? Is there somebody in my team that you've missed? Is there somebody in your team that you think that is going to be a really good captain choice? We're looking at the matchups this week. Who plays the Eagles? Essendon plays the Eagles. So have you got Zach Merritt? Could be a viable pick. Okay, so that's probably how I'm going to go with my captain and vice captain. The setup for the team will be, so I believe Essendon play before Richmond. So I've got a non-playing player here. If Reid has a good game, we'll slap Patton on. If he has a 50 or a 60, something like that, we'll leave Trainer there. We can do that in almost all our lines. We're pretty happy that with our flexibility. Now, Stone, we can also bring Patton down here if we want. So if we put this guy, we swap Kako with Hewitt. Hopefully Hewitt comes back this week, but if he doesn't, we can use him to get the best scores on field. Again, we could also bring Patton down here. We'll give Kako a go. If Kako comes out and kicks like 3 goals and gets 100, we'll be able to get his score on the field as well. We'll only be able to get one or the other. We'll only be able to get Patton. Actually, that's not quite true. If Hewitt doesn't play, we could potentially bring Hewitt down for like a Warner and get Kako's score. So, and then here in the midfield, I think Melbourne play on Saturday. I think Ashcroft we just leave there, right? So if we put, and Geelong play at the end of the week, so there we go. We'll put the emergency on Lindsay. If Nevitt as Lindsay has a good game, we'll take Nevitt off, and vice versa. So that's how we'll probably set up our team for the week. As before we go into potential trades, let's have a look at the new dual position players. As we know, the players were made. The changes were made this week, and we're going to have a look and see who has been made a dual position player. So here's all the dual position players. Let's go down and see if we can find any of relevance. So Sinclair was already, McRae got mid forward status, so makes the team more flexible. That's good. Holmes already had it. Sheasel now you can be used as a mid. That's nice. Again, makes our teams a little bit more flexible. Rankinine made a mid, forward mid now, more flexible. It's nice. Rory Laird, mid defence. Anyone thinking about Rory Laird as a sneaky pod in the defensive line? Has to be considered. On past year's form, he's not quite the player he was 2 years ago. If he was, we'd be all snapping him up quickly. But let's have a quick look. What type of scores is the Mr. Rory Laird putting out this season? Playing that defence are 101, 89, 124, 58 and 99. So looking at that, this is probably, if you're going to get him, this is a good week to get him. What's the break even? It will be, break even is 149. So no, let him lose another week. He could be a sneaky pod. So if he gets even if he gets 100, he's still going to drop 20k. So he's going to be below 500k for maybe the first time in a lot of years, and you're going to be able to swap. So he is a definite consideration. He's a definite consideration. Zach Bailey, I don't think anyone's considering him. I'm not too sure if he was already forward mid before. Luke Jackson got the forward ruck status, injured, so you can't really do much about it. And Darcy's back anyway, so I think it would be a little bit risky. Picking him. Matthew Kennedy, I'm not too sure if that's new. Chad Warner, I'm pretty sure is new because I had him in the team. Now he picked up mid status. I believe he was a forward only, so that's really good. We really like that. Chris, now here's the two that most people are going to be talking about, and probably the ones that, maybe the three that are most relevant to our teams. So Chad Warner, now he's got mid forward. Christian Mataka, now mid forward, and a sneaky Patrick Dangerfield is a mid forward. Now, out of all of these guys, who has the best average? Petrarca, Chad Warner has the best overall average. Petrarca has the best 3 round, and Patrick Dangerfield has the best 3 round. Now, out of these three, who are you guys considering? Like, I had a quick look at their stats before. We look at Chad. If you're considering getting him in, he's had 115, a 78, 122, a 54, and an 81. So I assume that means that he's going to have a big break even. break even of 163. So we could get him pretty cheap in a week or two's time. Let's see. Predicted. Even he comes out and gets a 90, 93, he could be down as much as 450. So he could be someone to look forward to. Obviously, you're not really thrilled about this 54, but the 120 to 115, he does have a reasonable ceiling, and he has produced reasonable scores this year. That's my only problem with Petrarca. We've seen what he can do in past years. We know what he can do. He can be an absolute gun and destroy people, get massive scores. But look at this season. He hasn't done it at all this season. He's 98 is his best score in the first round. 98, 78, 80, 92, and a 96. So, if you're buying him, you're hoping that he's going to get back to his, best form. Those scores as they are probably aren't in the top 6 forwards. So you want to try and be getting primos now. Primos which are keepers. Trading down to rookies and up to primo keepers. And I don't know if he's a primo keeper. If they change him into the midfield and give him full midfield and just let him in Melbourne start to get better and he goes bananas, then maybe. And here's a sneaky one. Mr. Patrick Dangerfield. Very dangerous around the goals. He's always going to get a few possessions. So he's got an 80, a 74, an 84, 112, and a 91. So you're going to probably think his average, he looks like he's averaging around 85, and you're probably going to keep that average. I mean, he is very dangerous around goals. Is an 85 and 90 average going to be enough to be a top 6 forward? I'm not too sure, to be honest. Probably not. But it is something to think about. Now, let's see if there's anybody else of interest. James Peatling, congratulations to the people that picked him and did not trade him out. He's given you a lot more flexibility, and you can use him in your forward line now. He seems like a reasonable pick at the beginning of the season. Anybody else? Sam De Koning got defensive ruck. I think a lot of people are jumping off him now. Perryman, defensive mid, if you've still got him, but he's just not performing the way you want. You're probably going to want to get rid of him. And then you got all our young rookie mates. So Nick Martin, some people were thinking about Nick Martin too. Let's have a look how he's done this season. 74, 91, 88, and 108. Defender forward. So we don't have a lot of defender forward options. It would, for me, if I got Nick Martin, it would make my team super flexible. Like having a defender forward connection, like over here, if we go back to my team, I have Patton and Stone. If I could have a primo that's connected to one of those, that would be good. Now, for me, I don't have a lot of room in my back line, but I could probably afford to have one more primo in the in the forward line. I'm kind of thinking that in my forward line, I might like Ashcroft here. Right now, the time is to try and get primos in the midfield, and having an Ashcroft sitting in F6 is probably not going to be such a bad thing. Anybody else? Did you guys see? A lot of those are the higher price players. If we have a quick look, let's have a quick look at the cheaper ones. So if we go players less than 250k, let's say 300, less than 300k. So a lot of these, like Ashcroft, he got forward status, like we talked. Murphy Reed got forward status. Both of these, they're going to really help you out. Going to really help you out with flexibility in your team if you have them. And if there's any injuries or issues over the next few weeks, that's going to really help. Sam Davison as well. Hugo Garcia already had it. Max All already had it. Daniel Curtin already had it. Like I said, Corey Warner got it. Got mid status. Sam Laylor got forward status. I think he was mid status. He got one. He went from one to the other. I forget which one it is. Anybody? Connor Stone, which was good for me. Got forward defense. That's the rare one. That's the really rare one. The forward defense and anything with the ruck and probably the defensive ruck or mid ruck are the ones that are really rare. So they're not as important as the forward mid swap out or the forward ruck swap out. But if you've got two of them, they can be extremely helpful. If you've got two forward defenders, one on each line, they can be very helpful. Finn Callaghan, if you kept him, he's got defensive status now. Sid Draper, I believe he picked up forward status. Not 100% sure which one he picked up. So we can see there are quite a lot of relevant players there. A lot of the ones you guys will be looking at are those three primos. I would suggest the Warner, the Dangerfield, and the Petrarca are the ones that people are really going to be thinking about over the next few weeks. Me personally, when I see that what Warner's price is going to be, when I see he's got a break even of 163. Which means in about 2 weeks' time, that's if he gets 90s. If he dropped another low score, it'd go down even more. But if he's going to be around 460k in a couple of weeks' time, I'm also thinking if he's playing, mid forward, are they missing forwards that could come back? As if he was playing mid defence, I would think that when Mills comes back, that maybe he'd be playing more midfield. I don't know if this is going to be a thing. Let's actually have a quick look at his. Let's have a quick look at how he's been going. Where are you, Sydney? Sydney, here you go. Have a look at his heat maps. He's probably the one I'm most interested in. Who are you guys most interested in out of those three? Chad Warner. Supercoach, please. So looking at his heat maps, so that doesn't look very forward to me, to be honest. That's where he played this week. And I'm telling you what, if he stays there, it's only a matter of time until he gets a big score. Why has he got the vest? He was vested? Oh, that's why he had such a low score. He was vested. So he's going to be valuable. I'm not too sure why he was vested. Can we have a look? If we go to Sydney, we go to Chad Warner. Make sure we get the right one. Potentially, I could have two Warners in my team. That's a potential disaster happening. Having both the Warners, both the C Warners, not just Chad and I don't even know what the other gentleman's name is, but having both of them in the team. So he was subbed off in the quarter four for Sheldrick. 10 possessions, 2 marks plus 2 goals, starting in midfield and then resting forward. So it doesn't say he was injured or anything. It just says he was subbed off, which is, which is a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. So in that game, 59%, and he got a 54. So you have to expect he would have got at least an 80 or so if he had stayed on the field the whole time. 122 the week after. 150. Where's the first one? 78, 122. 54, 81. So he's the one I'm considering the most, especially looking at that last heat map. What about this? So, I mean, it looks to me like he's playing a lot more midfield than he is playing forward. So he's got potentials of big scores there. If we go back, so Swans, they lost this game. What's it say? It says 24 possessions, 4 marks, 3 tackles, a point as well. Started in the midfield and then resting forward. Got a point. So if he kicks that goal, that's 100. He had 4 Muppet acts, 4 clangers, and he only went at 66%. So if he cleans that up, gets a few more possessions, Sheldrick started the sub and came on again. So I'm thinking out of all of them, he's the one that I might be interested in. And hopefully that'll be a couple of weeks' time. Knowing my luck, Horny Man's just going to go crazy and we're going to have to get him back, but we'll see how we go. So that was the players that have got DPP status come through this week. We'll get some more changes later on in the season, but for the moment, that's what we're going to have to live with. I really like the flexibility that's provided with my team. I'm not 100% happy with my team at the moment. Is anyone 100% happy with their team? Probably not. But I feel like I'm set up for the next few rounds. All I need is a bit of luck for my primos to go get primo scores, and I'm going to be able to hold and potentially even increase my rank. I think for trades, let's talk about trades this week. I'm thinking pretty much Henderson needs to go. Now, he hasn't. We got him at 99k. We can't complain too much, so we're going to make $67,000. It's not too bad for a 99 player. He got a couple of 60s the first couple of weeks, but he did need to score a goal, and Melbourne have been pretty bad. So I'm thinking that there's not a good chance that he hits this 55 break even. There's a good chance that he gets another 30 the 13 because he got subbed off. And I think that he got subbed off, not like in the first quarter, he got subbed off like in the third quarter. So he got 13 in 3 quarters, I believe. Jack Henderson, it's not going to tell me. Subbed off in third quarter for Sharp, 4 possessions. So he only got 4 possessions in pretty much 2.5 quarters. So the good thing is we can swap him between the front, down here and back. So I think the players who I'm targeting, the players who we are targeting this week, and the players who you guys are probably targeting also. We're going to take away all our filters and round 5, and let's go to cash cows. So there's one clear number 1 in my book who I'm going for, which is Cleary. Caden Cleary from the Swans. Negative 73 break even. He's a forward only. Should make about 53k this week if he can just get a reasonable score. He doesn't need much. He'll only need to get... He's got a 66 and then an 81, and if he comes out and gets a 50, he'll make 50k. So, and hopefully he can get another reasonable score. The other ones people are probably looking at is Tom Gross from the Eagles. Now, I didn't get Hall last week, and I'm kind of happy I didn't get Hall. You got to look at the Eagles are getting slaughtered every week. The highest score for the Eagles last week was 88, and the highest score this week was 100. I think almost 100 on the dot. That's the best out of all the Eagles scores. Like Jack Graham got 101. So if you're getting these rookie Eagles, you really can't expect them, even if their midfields are playing at the time, to be getting 80s very regularly. Yes, both Hall got an 80 and Gross got an 80 this week, but I really think that's not going to happen very often. They're more 50-60 players. And don't forget, Tim Kelly was dropped to the waffle. He will come back and he'll definitely take some CBAs. If we look at the CBAs... for the Eagles, centre bouncers, and see how many the two young guys had. So this week, Bailey Williams had 85% CBAs and got a score of 12 for a full game. That kind of shows you how the Eagles are going. Tom Grossi got 74% and Clay Hall got 56%. And they put Liam Baker in there a lot. So... they dropped down Hall's numbers, and then if you look at Tom Gross the week before, he had 66, and Clay Hall had 76 and Tim Kelly had 72. So, funny enough, Tim Kelly went out of the team and Clay Hall's CBA's dropped, and Jack Hutchinson came into the team, who they like as a midfielder. So he took away his CBAs, which if you're a Clay Hall owner isn't going to be very nice to see as the future going. The good thing is Tom Gross, he's went up. But I'm thinking if Tim Kelly comes back, does that mean he's go down for Hutchison? It's a risky pick. I mean, he will make you money, but he could be subbed, he could be dropped. You just don't know. The Minnie McWalter over there at the Eagles, or over here at the Eagles, as they're my club that I support, seems to be picking players by throwing darts at dartboards, and that's how he seems to be doing his selection at the moment. And so anything can happen. So I don't mind it, but I think it is risky. I think there's always a chance you might get 1 week of money cash gen and then he gets dropped or subbed or something. But I don't blame you if you pick him. You know, if he does play for the next few weeks and he holds his position and maybe they leave Kelly in the waffle, he might continue to get decent scores. But with the best score you could possibly hope for, I mean, saying it sounds a bit ridiculous. If a rookie gets an 80, you're pretty happy, right? But that's the absolute best score, because even the best players in the Eagles aren't getting 80s. All right, Sandy Brock, again from the Eagles. He's a bargain basement price. I don't know if I would be considering him. Don't matter how cheap he is. Again, exactly the same as we just went through. We got an 80 and then a 39. I'm pretty sure the 39 is going to be more like a regular score. He's a key back, and unless he takes a heap of intercept marks, which is probably what he did the first week, he's probably not going to get a decent score. And don't forget, McGovern will be coming back soon. So if McGovern comes back, he probably loses his spot. Anybody else that we're thinking about, crew? Anybody else that you guys are thinking about trading in? Really, there's those two. Oh, there's one more. Where is he? The Essendon chappie. The guy whose name that I struggled to pronounce. Let's filters. Essendon. There's actually two people from Essendon which are interesting. So there is Saad Hawaii. We really don't know. We apologise again for destroying his name. I think I just really want to go on a trip to Hawaii. So he started off as a sub, and he came on in the first quarter for an injury. So that worries me a little bit that he's been the sub in the first game he played, where he got a 16, and then he was started as a sub again, but came on due to an injury in the first quarter and got a 67. And I mean, that score is pretty good considering he came on as a sub, but it does worry me, will he be the sub in the future? Can you trust that, even if he starts as not the sub, that he won't be subbed? So some of you might be looking at him. He's got that really good defender midfield DPP status, which is very helpful. There's not a lot of rookies out there. I think only the St Kilda Toby Travalia is the only other one I think would of relevance, which has that defender midfield status for your rookies. So he could be valuable. You might get him in just because it helps you swap your team around. He certainly would be helpful for me to swap my team. I'd swap all these defender mids that I have into the midfield, but I don't think I'll be going there. I think it's a little bit risky. I want to really save my trades and concentrate on players that I think that are going to be able to play for a few rounds and not get dropped. If I'm buying a cash cow, I really hope that they're going to play for a few rounds. Now, there is one other player here from Essendon that some people may consider. Now, he's not a rookie. Now, Sam Draper. Now, the reason you may consider Sam Draper is because he did not start as the number one ruck, but Nick Bryan started as number one ruck, and he was injured in the first quarter. That's who Saad came in for, but which made Sam Draper be the number one ruck for the full game. And at that, he got 110. So we all know what number one rucks can do. The problem for me is he's at a very difficult price of here we do this for you guys, of 411,000. Now he does play West Coast, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 150. We saw last week that Bailey Williams for West Coast got 12, and for some reason we're refusing to play the only ruckman we have in Matt Flynn. So, I think he could do well next week, but the question you got to ask yourself is he a keeper? Are you buying him in your forward line? I mean, if you're buying him as a stepping stone, I think that time is over, or as a mid-pricer, I'm pretty sure that time is over. You need to be considering now, will you be wasting a trade later on to get him back out? Maybe they bring in another ruck. I don't know. Has Todd Goldstein retired yet, or does he still play? Goldstein still play down there? Maybe they bring in somebody else to help him out. So just because someone got injured, it doesn't mean that that's going to be his full-blown position from now. If it is, he could be a good pick, but I think it's very risky. If you're brave enough to do it, I salute you. All right, so I think that's for us, for our trades. I think it's kind of simple. We're going to go one of these mid-forwards. We're going to put Bent Henderson here. We're going to trade Henderson, and we're going to get who I think is one of the safer ones. I mean, nothing says that he might not be dropped or he might not get the sub, but I think he is probably a little bit safer, and maybe even score-wise. I think if Sydney have a good game, he could potentially get another good score. I mean, he got an 81 here. He's going to make some money. Is there anybody, if we have a look at the, is there anyone coming back from the injury list into Sydney? Right down the bottom. Okay, so we got Taylor Adams. It's going to come back 3 to 5 weeks. That's fine. Andrew Cunningham, it's a test. Will he be playing in that forward line? I don't know. Robbie Fox still to be confirmed. Goulden's out. Justin round 6. Lewis test. Callum Mills 2 to 3 weeks. Tom Papley 6 to 8 weeks. So he's probably got Papley's spot. Even though Logan McDonald pressed in the VFL last week, kicking 3 goals and playing high up the ground at times. So he looks set to return to face Collingwood, likely to replace. So did he do that? Did he play this week, Logan McDonald? Don't see him there. So maybe next week. Obviously, those injuries won't be updated. So at the moment, this will still be as of last week's, April the 8th, yeah. So some of these players might be a little bit closer, but the one I'd probably be really worried about, it jumps out to me, are these two, Adams and Papley, who seem to be play forwards. So I think he's probably safe for, 3 weeks. But you never know, but that's what I'm hoping. That's what we should say, hoping instead of thinking. Now, that's probably the only trade I want to make. I could trade down again and go for either Gross, the Eagles boy, or the Essendon boy. Sard, we're going to call him Sard because we just struggle with that last name every single time. I think that is going to be the best bet for me. Do that one trade, bank the 70k, and then hold the trades and try and do a upgrade in the next week or so. Look for a more reliable rookie, or one of these, someone who we can, go down 1 and up 1, or down 2 and up 1. I'm thinking in the future we really need to get these rookies who we believe were going to be consistent, who aren't doing too bad but aren't as consistent as we hoped, out of the midfield, and going to have to start getting some premiums into the midfield. I think my back line is definitely sorted. It's pretty much complete. Whitfield, Zorko, Sheasel, Dale, Roberts, and Sinclair goes back there at some stage. So unless Roberts and Bailey Dale keep stinking it up, but I think at the moment we're just going to have to back them in, that they're going to get some form and do well at some point, and we're going to have to start getting potential rookies off the field. And I think Ashcroft down here in F6 is probably going to be a viable thing. If I could get some decent players here in the midfield, that'd be the case. Like the trade we did last week when we got Whitfield in the last moment really hurt us. Otherwise, we would think about it, we'd have an extra 100k here, we'd have 200k. Pretty much we could have got rid of Finn Callahan if we wanted to and got any primo we wanted. There's a few fallen primos this week and the next few weeks to be looking at. You want to maybe take that into account. I'm going to be targeting those fallen primos. Like, I made the big mistake of getting in Whitfield at full price for Rosie. It cost me 100k. He got 70 less points, and now I'm in a worse position than what I was in the first place. Not that I don't think Whitfield is going to be in the top 6, but maybe if he has another game, he might go down even more money. He went down about 7 or 8k, I think. And so not only did I lose 70 points by making the trade, if people were to pick him up this week, they'd get an extra 7k on my team by just getting him cheaper. So you really got to watch those sideways trades. You really got to back in the players you picked at the first place and give him a run. And that's why I'm thinking about Finn Callahan. Let's give him a couple more weeks and see if he can, produce a big score. I mean, he's not going to burn. He's losing cash, but he's not losing that much cash. If he gets a 90 this week, which will be, hopeful, he'll only lose 1,000. If he got like a 70, he probably loses about 10,000. So it's not like I'm going to lose 50k or something like that. And that was one of the reasons I did pick Rosie over him to get rid of Whitfield. I saw that Rosie was going to lose 30k or something. He had like 160 break even, which he pretty much made his break even. Disgusting as that is for people like me who traded him out, it was always going to happen. I'm thinking about putting out a little video and letting everyone know who I'm going to trade out for the week, and then everyone else can trade him in or make him the captain, because he's definitely going to get 150 as what's happened the last 2 weeks. The team setup looks pretty good. I think we'll probably have Cleary on the field here. We'll have, we discussed having Lindsay first. We will have maybe Western Bulldogs play. Who plays it? Kako. We'll probably have Kako down here and give Kako a go at getting a big score here as well. Hopefully he kicks a few goals. That way we'll be able to put Hewitt on either here or here, and Pat can go on here or in the forward or defender line to try and get the best scores off the bench. And that way, hopefully, I won't be missing hundreds like I did this Zach Reed last week, because that can really hurt you. The difference of that would have been a 50 or 60 point difference if I had managed to get him on the field, as opposed to one of these, midfield rookies. And it could have made a big difference in the overall score in my side. I think that's it. I think that's all we're going to do today, crew. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget, hit that subscribe, leave a comment. Like I said, I don't care, even if it's just a smiley face or a g'day, Shauno, or I love your Skippy intro, whatever it might be. Just leave me a comment. Would love to hear from you. We'll answer any questions anyone has. Tell me who your captain's going to be. Tell me who you're trading in this week. Tell me if you were a fool like I was and traded out Rosie. And I hope everybody has an awesome day and a great week, and we'll speak to you next time. See you later. Take it away, Skip.